Almost 5 years ago, we instituted the Green Energy Academy at our Blue Ribbon Bloomfield Tech campus, thanks to public service and the other organizations. Programs have grown tremendously in its first 4 years, and our innovative curriculum has provided our students with an invaluable hands-on learning experience, which has now become the model for all green energy programs in the state. The class of 2012 at Bloomfield Tech included the Academy's first graduating class, who all have great plans for their future. We spent the day with our Green Energy Academy students, learning about the projects they've worked on and the tremendous opportunities they had throughout the school year. Our Bloomfield Tech TV production students filmed the day's events, so let's see how it went.
And I want to just welcome our students, parents, other dignitaries that are with us. It's always a pleasure to welcome people to Bloomfield Tech, especially with our Green Energy program, which is now 4 years old.
This program came about as an outgrowth of PSE&G's utility program. And when I got here, I asked the people in charge of the program, why are we talking utilities without talking green and sustainability? And when we talked green and sustainability, they were fast to get on board and to be with us.
4 years ago, we set out to create a program that would prepare the students of Essex County with the skills and theoretical knowledge necessary to enter into the green workforce. In the process, we ended up creating an innovative science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM, program that's currently acting as a model for districts across New Jersey. Our model is based on the fundamental concept of learning by doing. The students engage in real-world applications by installing and monitoring the systems right here on our Bloomfield Tech campus. The Green Energy Academy students that you see here today, they're well prepared and confident to enter into this field, not only with the knowledge and the skills, but also with the passion for sustainability. And they all have the energy to make this change happen.
We're fortunate that because of the county executive and the freeholders having a solid working partnership that moves the county forward, we have the support of the freeholders and the county executive together.
Green energy technology, sustainable technologies are the future. And to the young people who I see here in the audience, you are ahead of the curve. You are doing things here that are being looked at as a model across the country. And I can tell you right now that's what's being done right here is what is being talked about every day in Washington. So you are to be commended for that leadership.
The idea of green jobs, of sustaining, whether it's solar, whether it evolves into biofuels, you are into a long-term career that will provide an excellent future for each of you.
Most people talk about Green Energy Academy. They could talk the talk, but here in Bloomfield, under the leadership of Eric Love, my man Todd, and all the teachers, you're walking the walk.
We've been very fortunate recipients of both financial and technical support from PSE&G since the very beginning of the program. Project Learning Tree has assisted with curricula and project development as well as grants, and they've also given our students the opportunity to share their green school projects at numerous events, including the National Youth Leadership Conference in Minneapolis last month.
At PLT, we believe strongly in developed curriculum based upon the premise that it's important to teach students how to think, not what to think.
Very much, and I hope we can continue to give our donation to these guys. They have the best program out of anybody that we've researched from Ernst & Young over the past couple of years.
So you see something happening here that in a lot of other places people just talk about, but you're actually executing on, and that's a great thing to have happen. So when you look back and you see that some of these kids are going into the professions that we all hoped they would go into, whether it be engineering or some of the manual trades, or just the fact that they know how to run a wire and connect the two wires and have electricity flow through it, that's something they're going to use throughout their lives. So we're very proud to be part of this, and we look forward to continuing that partnership.
This year we graduate almost 20 students. Of those 20 students, we have students going into the Navy, we have students going to prep school, we have students going to community college, and 16 of them will be going on to 4-year colleges, 9 of which will be studying either science, technology, engineering, or math. So we've made some great inroads in these 4 years because of our students' hard work.
This is a model program, so I'm very, very proud of what's been done and what's accomplished. And to Ralph LaRosa, who's there from the beginning, public service, ever since I've been elected official, whether it's Freeholder, President, County Executive, public service has always been behind Essex County and doing the things that are necessary to affect people's lives.
It's the first program like this in the state of New Jersey, and in fact it is now serving as a model for other career and technical education programs in the state of New Jersey.
We don't want to be just the best in New Jersey, we want to be the best in the country. And that means we're going to expand it, we're going to find new things that we can do to create sustainable systems, and also that we can continue to bring in some exciting teachers and exciting students and become a place that people from all over the country come to see our Green Energy Academy.
Within the Green Energy Academy, we not only teach the students the hands-on experience, the book experience, we go out and see these things in real life. We go out and see actual wind turbines. We go out and see different power plants, and we see these things being manifested in real life. And also we come and incorporate them within our school.
Basically, before I came into this program, I didn't know anything about sustainability. I didn't know anything about being green or green energy, or even like where we get our electricity from. So now I know, about being sustainable and about being environmentally cautious and everything, and I can take it into my life.
I plan to use the skills that I obtained from the Green Energy Academy to not only help with the consulting business that I plan to start with my sister in the future, but also to help educate others on what sustainability is.
The students are learning those skills that they will need in the future to take on those new careers. We're at the forefront of what's happening as far as green education in the state of New Jersey. I'm very proud of it.
Joining us is Deborah Collins, Director, but also Founder of the Essex County Office of Small Business Development and Affirmative Action. Deborah, welcome.
Thank you, Joe.
One of the things that I did early on in my administration, because we wanted to make a focus on helping small businesses and making sure that the people that live in this county, when there's business to be had, that the small business would have an opportunity to participate, whether with other jobs that were going on. And the commitment that I made was not only you were going to be on the 4th floor, but your office was going to be right next to my office here to make that a priority. And the thing is to be able to send a message to everyone how serious we were going to take it. And the last 7 years under your direction and your staff, because you could not do it without your staff, you have done an outstanding job. And on behalf of our Essex County residents, we just want to thank you, Deborah, because you're very focused and you're very sincere and you have the passion inside in helping our residents. So on behalf of our residents, we want to thank you.
Joe, I have to thank you on behalf of my staff because you empower us to do the work that we do. You give us the ball, we run with it. You are the kind of leader that is there when we need you, and when we have an idea that we think is a powerful one, you say run with it. Your confidence in us makes all the difference.
The thing is, because I was a quarterback, and I quarterbacked at Barringer High School. So, I knew how to pass the ball, and I knew how to hand off the ball. And selecting a good team, and that was all about. And you're part of the team, the Essex County team, and you truly do an outstanding job. Why don't you talk about a little bit about these workshops that you do all year long, and fill our viewers in about exactly what they're about.
Well, it's my pleasure. One of our priorities, Joe, is to make certain that our business owners have access and information. We run a series of workshops on topics that span the spectrum. For example, New Age marketing, which includes topics such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, blogging. How do you market your business these days when competition is so stiff? We also run workshops on the request for proposal process, the bid process, because you know as well as I do, Joe, that the county is obliged to comply with the local public contract laws. So if they don't have an understanding, at least a fundamental understanding of these laws, they can't compete. We want them to be positioned to compete successfully for contracts. So we run QuickBooks seminars, seminars on access to capital, business plan preparation. In fact, just this year, we've run 10 separate seminars. We're in the midst of running one now, an OSHA 10 certification program in partnership with the City of East Orange. So we believe that when you take a seminar with the County of Essex, you have to leave with something tangible, a certification card that means that the next day you can go out and get a job, or you can bid on a contract if you have that 30-hour certification as well.
One of the big things that you were able to get dollars from the federal government to provide
Absolutely.
workshops as far as come bonding. To me, that was one of the biggest problems that our small businesses have, was be able to get bonding. And they had to go through a process. They had to go through your workshops.
Yes.
And because of the efforts, could you just tell our viewers how many people now are eligible to go out there and bond?
Absolutely, and it's a very timely
amazing.
question. It really is. When we ran public forums prior to opening this office, we heard two things. We want access, we want information, but what about bonding? How do we bid without it? Well, we were fortunate 2.5 years ago to get a grant from the United States Small Business Administration in the amount of $359,000 to run a bonding program. To date, 107 contractors have gone through that program. 22% have been bonded, or they've been able to raise their bonding limits. In fact, one of the graduates of that program has been named one of the top leading entrepreneurs, 25 top entrepreneurs in the state of New Jersey. That's Cindy Malinchak, and we're so proud of her and the others.
She's been with us right from the beginning.
Yes, she has.
She's one of the leaders. I
Yes,
see her
she
at
has.
every workshop. There's Cindy, but she
She's
doesn't
there.
miss a shot, and she's always there.
She doesn't. But there are so many others that I could mention as well, Joe. I just got a call recently from Gwen Motley, a Newark resident, Harvard grad, who has been able to get contracts with the federal government, the state, and she has called me to say, you know, this could not have happened but for the Essex County Bonding Readiness Program. So we've placed people on the map. We're very proud of that.
The other
work.
thing is the priority that we've made when you came into office, that our directors and division directors will be part of the small business to be able to work directly. And one of the things that you come to our meetings on Tuesday.
One thing I'll say about those Tuesday meetings is they give me the opportunity to know everyone around that table. And as a consequence of it, during the recent storm, or after the recent storm, I was able to provide a list of tree services, minority contractors, yes, to get business with the county, and they have performed admirably. That couldn't happen but for the fact that I'm at those meetings and people know how serious you are about this initiative.
So why don't you talk about a little bit about the library, the resource, the only one in the state of New Jersey?
That's right, that's right. We were fortunate to get another congressional earmark in the amount of $205,000 to launch the very first ever Essex County Small Business Development Resource Center and Reference Library, fondly known as the Biz Center. It is a 500-book collection of works specific to small women and minority business owners. We have access, Joe, to something called Jersey Clicks, which means that you can go onto the online portal through our website and access the information on any database at any library in the state of New Jersey, as well as the Library of Congress. It is absolutely amazing. We have 3 computer terminals, there's Wi-Fi access, and best of all, it's free meeting space for our organizations and chambers of commerce. In fact, every month, the West Ward Business Association meets in our Biz Center. It has been an absolute boon to our community.
Besides the Biz Center, you have meetings also in our county complex, the Leroy Smith building on the 14th floor.
That's right. In fact, we just held one.
The FEMA one.
For FEMA workshop, we had over 25 representatives from FEMA and the United States Small Business Administration from Chicago, Atlanta,
All right, how about
Florida.
McClune's? Come on,
Amazing.
McClune's.
And McClune's, well, that's where we hold our biggest workshop. That marketing workshop takes place at McClune's, and it's standing room only. Every time we run it, people ask us, when are you going to run another one? It's never long enough, and they love the building. You know what I like about McClune's?
What?
It was constructed by a minority business enterprise, and I'd like to say that. I want people to know that our businesses are involved in every facet of the Public Works initiative here at the County of Essex.
Thank you, Deborah. Keep
It's
up
been
the
my
good work.
pleasure. Thank you, Joe.
Bye-bye. Throughout the county, we have named several parks, plazas, sports facilities, and buildings after prominent people that have made a significant impact on our community. We honor 2 phenomenal athletes, Althea Gibson and Roberto Clemente, this year by erecting life-size statues in our parks. Tennis standout Althea Gibson statue is located by the Althea Gibson Tennis Center in Essex County, Branchbrook Park. She was the first African American to win championships at the French Open, the U.S. Open, the Australians doubles, and Wimbledon. Her legacy reaches far beyond the accomplishments on the tennis court. She used her fame to teach inspire children to work hard to succeed in life. Tennis legend Billie Jean King joined with us to celebrate this great honor. The county first recognizes Mrs. Gibson in 2002, when the Althea Gibson Tennis Court Complex was named in her honor. In June, we joined the Roberto Clemente Monument Committee, led by my friend Louis Lopez, to unveil the bronze statue of the Baseball Hall of Famer Roberto Clemente in Essex County, Branch Brook Park. Before the dedication, about 2,000 people marched in a parade up Bloomfield Avenue, the corner of Bloomfield Avenue and Lake Street, where the statue is located. The statue is near the Essex County Steve N. Albato Sports Complex, where thousands of children participate in various recreation programs. This statue will serve as a way to educate our children, inspire them to reach their goals.
I'm Gary Williams. When I'm not coaching the Terrapins basketball, I'm committed to the fight against cancer. Fear the turtle, don't fear colon cancer screening.
We recognize two well-known community leaders who served as role models by renaming some of our athletic facilities in their honor. A youth athletic field in Essex County Ivy Hill Park was renamed after retired Seton Hall University baseball coach Mike Shepard, Sr.
Now, after 34 years here on Tuxedo Parkway, we're just 4 miles away in West Orange. So in 54 years, we haven't gone so far in mileage. But we measure our journey by the hundreds of friends we have here in Essex County. Seton Hall Prep and Seton Hall University are very special in our lives. I am proud to be an 8-year man. Seton Hall Prep started a young man on his development, and Seton Hall University finished the job. I experienced great priests, teachers, and coaches who taught me well and prepared me for my future role as teacher-coach. Thank you, Seton Hall. Today I'm very proud. If you're proud where you come from, you'll always know where you're going and take pride in everything that you do. I'm proud of all of you and take great pride in being your friend. I love you all. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America.
First of all, to the coach, I was going to present this to Phyllis, but I want you to present this to your wife right now. Come up here, Phyllis. Can I have also the Shepard family come forward here? Veil in front, and on the stone is going to be some wording about Mike Shepard. It's going to be in bronze.
Dan Salvante called me this morning. He said, you know, you wrote so much on the plaque, we're going to have to put it on the back of the rock also. I said, well, he did so many things. There are a lot of things to notice here. This is to Mike Shepard Sr., outstanding coach, role model, and mentor. Senior Hall head baseball coach, 1973 to 2003 emeritus.
The county partnered with the Branch Brook Park Alliance to complete a $4 million, four-phase project to revitalize the lakefront area in Essex County, Branch Brook Park, Southern Division. We had a very spirited celebration to highlight the many improvements. The two historic Prudential Lion statues were dedicated to the retired Prudential Chairman and CEO Art Ryan and his wife Pat, co-chair of the Branch Brook Park Alliance, for their dedication to restoring the park.
For 52 years, the Prudential Lions stood guard here and were loved and beloved by generations of park visitors. In 2011, fragile, weathered, and worn, the original limestone sculptures were carefully restored and for their protection relocated to the Essex County Hall of Records. These faithful and enduring cast stone replicas welcome the affection of all those who come to Essex County Branch Brook Park. Pat Ryan shared her husband Art's love of the park and is a founding co-chair of the Branch Brook Park Alliance, which in partnership with the County of Essex has carried out the first comprehensive restoration of this historic park.
In November, we dedicated the Congressman Donald M. Payne statue, which is located in the plaza that was dedicated in his honor in 2009 in the Essex County Government Complex. The late Congressman Payne holds a significant place in our state and local history. He was elected as the 10th Congressional District of New Jersey in 1988, becoming New Jersey's first African-American congressman. His 12 terms in office made him one of the longest-serving members of the New Jersey's federal delegation. Hundreds of family members, friends, and colleagues gathered on that day to celebrate his legacy as the statue was unveiled.
Open your door. Visit Nature Explorer at arborday.org for the young lives in your life.
It has to do with the whole being outside thing.
Now joining us in the studio is Louis Turco, Superintendent of Weights and Measures, and Melvin Williams, our consumer advocate. Weights and Measures plays an important role in ensuring that business operates fairly and equitably. Louis, please tell us a little bit about your services and your division.
The Office of Weights and Measures is a small but vital branch to Essex County. Our Weights and Measures officers basically ensure that the consumers of Essex County are getting what they pay for. We do that through various types of inspections. One way is we would go out and make sure that the small scales, the gas pumps, pharmacies, all their devices are acting properly.
Your job basically is to protect the consumer.
Exactly.
Making sure that they don't get ripped off.
Exactly. We inspect over 70, when I say we, 4 officers, myself included, we inspect over 7,500 weighing and measuring devices throughout the county. The non-commercial devices that we do inspect are doctor's office scales, are in high schools, the wrestling scales, the football scales. These are for the tournaments. God forbid a student gets hurt, they want to make sure that the weights are accurate before they wrestle, before they play football. Other types of inspections we perform are reweighs. Reweighs are when we're going into a store, we make sure a pound is a pound, or a scanner audit. A scanner audit basically is we're checking to make sure the price on that item or on the shelf matches the register price.
What if a consumer is actually being ripped off and your office gets called and you got to go out there and check it? What could you do about it? If you say, you know, just to protect the consumer, could you find the person?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Who do you work with?
We fall under the State of New Jersey Attorney General's office. The State Office of Weights and Measures falls under the Office of Consumer Services, and it's just
so you would contact the Attorney General's office directly?
No, we would write the ticket up ourselves.
Right.
But we are certified through the State Office of Weights and Measures, who falls under the New Jersey State Attorney General's office. So anytime we do find a violation, we have the authority to write up a ticket, or even if it's a gas station, for example, we have the authority to tie down the pumps and shut down the station.
Right.
So there are a lot of things we can do. If it's a store complaint, we would go out, check the item. If the item is incorrect, we'd write up a fine for the item, and we'd contact the consumer, let them know to go back. They would get their money back. It varies from little things to big things that we inspect.
But where does the fines, the dollars go? Does it go to the state, or does it come to the county?
That goes to the county. That goes into the county.
Does any portion of it go to the state?
Not at all. What we do receive from the state is a weights and measures registration fee. Every commercial weighing and measuring device in the state of New Jersey is registered. And for every inspection that our office completes, we receive a portion of that registration fee. We receive, I believe, 70% of that fee. So every device that gets inspected, yes, the county does get paid for those devices.
Has the revenue been increasing every year? You know the way?
Yes, for the past, I've been superintendent for 10 years. I want to say the past 10 years it goes up every year.
You think they would learn, though, to make sure they do things honestly and make sure our consumers are protected?
Well,
and you're saying no matter what, every year there's an increase.
It depends, because you may find one thing one year, but then the following year it's something else. You know, they may fix one problem, but then another problem arises.
There was a lot of that was going on, probably still going on, where people were being overcharged for certain things.
Well,
and
it goes on all year long. But in that case, once the state of emergency was issued, there is a price gouging law in effect. And that price gouging law states that you cannot go over 10% of whatever you're paying for the product. Right. In our case, I stopped everything. I pulled all inspectors from the regular jobs, and we went out and just checked for price gouging. That was in gas stations, oil companies, supermarkets, stores, because not only was the gas being gouged, you had to be careful of, I'm sure you heard of the generators. Price of generators went up. Water was going up. So my weights and measures officials, what they did, they went out to the stations. They made sure that the law was being enforced. The Attorney General office already had people out there. So they were already taking action against the gas stations that were not complying to the law. In our case, we checked 60 stations, I want to say, within a 3-day period. Within those 3 days, a majority of stations were closed.
There was no gas.
No gas and no power.
No gas and no power, that's right.
So when we got out to the stations, the ones that were selling, they were complying. There were some that were borderline that we issued a warning. And once we issued the warning, right away they lowered the prices. Also during that time period, the governor enacted Executive Order number 108, which was the odd-even gas days. So while we were out checking the gas stations, we made sure that they were in compliance to the odd-even gas stations. But what helped us in that case were the local police departments as well as the county sheriff's officers. They were out there monitoring the lines and making sure that everything was running smoothly. And Melvin Williams, our consumer advocate, he was out in the supermarkets and in the stores making sure that just essential things like water that I mentioned earlier, the water, toiletries, anything like that, they weren't gouging. Honestly, I was quite proud of not only my staff, but the consumers and the businesses of Essex County because they weren't out there.
We made this, when I took over in 2000, we made this a priority. I mean, Louis, you've been in the county 17 years.
Weights and measures, 17 years,
17 years, and you have a great director there, Aniba Ramos, who's the director of Citizen Services, who you work with thoroughly. And one of the things we wanted to do that you recommended to Aniba was to expand our program, and that's where Melvin comes in here, Williams, in reference to being our consumer advocacy.
Yes.
So, Melvin, it's all yours. Tell me what you have done. You've been with the county 5.5 years, right?
5.5 years, correct. And as an investigator with the Division of Consumer Services, I act as I work as an agent for the state New Jersey Attorney General's office, okay?
Right.
And what we do is we go out, we enforce the laws, the New Jersey Consumer Fraud Act laws, make sure that everyone's in compliance. We issue fines for those that are in violations, and we pretty much protect the consumer from unconscionable business practices and anything of the sort that might be going wrong out in the business community.
Lou, and to Floyd, Melvin, thank you very, very much for everything you have done and making sure you continue to put Essex County first, especially our residents. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Inside Essex County. I'm County Executive Joe DiVincenzo. Together, we will continue putting Essex County